Hello everyone, today I'll be ranking the top 10 LEGO sets of 2025, excluding LEGO Star Wars. If you're new to this channel, I typically focus on LEGO Star Wars and I have videos ranking all the sets from the year. But for this video, I wanted to make a video specifically about the other themes of LEGO. So in this video, everything's up for grabs except Star Wars. Now with that said, let's get started. Before we get to the top 10, I want to start with some honorable mentions. There were some really good sets that just couldn't quite make the list. One of them was Batman's Tumbler versus Two-Face and the Joker. I really like that set. I think it's really well done. The build's small, but I still enjoy it. The minifigures, of course, are a big standout and a big reason to buy that set. Why it didn't make the list, though, is a big price point of $60, which is crazy. It was still worth mentioning, though. Another Batmobile I need to mention is the Batman Forever set. The build is astonishing, with a treasure trove of techniques used everywhere. They capture the effect of the film so well. It's a great Batmobile if you're into that movie. The last honorable mention is the Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock subway train scene. I really wanted to include this set, but I just couldn't. While I really enjoy it, it's got really fun minifigures, a good train car, and it's a terrific throwback to classic Spider-Man. I just couldn't quite include it, as I think other sets are better. Plus, the set definitely needed some like train tracks or something to work with, as otherwise it's just the train car. Alright, with those honorable mentions out of the way, let's get to the real list. The top 10 best sets of 2025, again, minus LEGO Star Wars. At number 10, we have the Fantastic Four versus Galactus. I am a huge fan of sets that are all-inclusive, and what I mean by that is sets like this, that are versus sets. You buy it and you get the full package. There's no other set you need to make this set fun. You can play with it straight out of the box. You have the entire Fantastic Four lineup and Galactus here. There's not much more you could ask for. Plus, given Galactus' size, it actually works very well as a display piece too. You can set him up, have the figures kind of climbing on him, flying around him picking some people up. It works really great, both as a display piece and then also consequentially as a playset, as there's so much you could do with it. Getting into the nitty gritty, the minifigures look great. They're all really similar because they have the same print for the chests and their suits, but it's a good look. The bright blue really pops. The four does as well in the middle of the chest, which was really important. Individually, I wouldn't say any of them really wow me, but none of them are bad either. I kind of wish they did something a little different for the Thing. I don't think he was quite worthy of a big fig, but maybe like a bigger chest piece would work good for him. Onto Galactus, I love the design here. The blue and pink clash so well together. It's a very comic accurate look. And even though the colors are a bit more muted in the film, I like that LEGO is willing to make it a bit more colorful, as it just is more fun to look at, and honestly works better in LEGO. From head to toe, he's looking really good with plenty of details everywhere, lots of different shapes and pieces used all around this build. It's also quite posable, making for a very fun character to play around with. The iconic shape of the head was captured very nicely, with a sticker for the face, and all around it's a very good solid set. The 9th set on the list is Wall-E and Eve. It's pretty fun to get the two main characters from the movie in one set. The characters contrast very nicely. Wall-E in particular I think is the better build of the two. The box shape of course lends itself better to LEGO, but even besides that, the eyes on the top of his head look very good as well. And those tracks on the side are going to be really fun to roll around. Eve looks good too. They captured the smooth qualities as best they could. In this scale though, there's definitely going to be some issues trying to get something that smooth in LEGO. Despite those challenges, I'd say they did a good job though. There's a little build of the sweeper droid as well that kind of follows them around, which was a fun little addition too. They even included the plant and a cube for Wall-E to crush. A lot of small little details that just make the set and make it a little more fun, a little more interactive, some hidden elements to it that make it more than just a model and makes it a complete set. In the 8th spot, we have the modular building, the Tudor Corner. Every year, LEGO somehow manages to make a very unique modular that completely has its own identity. This is another one of those cases. Looks-wise, it's astounding. I love the different variations of the green, then to the bricks, and then all the way to the top. I don't even know what you'd call that, but the white and black contrast looks great. Kind of a medieval design look that clashes really well with the red roof. And then there's even some blue on the side building. I love how many colors there are and how lively it is. It's a terrific looking building. However, I will admit it's one of the more basic ones they've released. I wouldn't say this one is quite as enticing as some of the others, as its theming isn't quite as cohesive. Nevertheless, though, this set's still gorgeous to look at, and is going to look great in a LEGO city. The 7th spot on the list is taken by the Italian Riviera. This build design is so cool. Anyone who's a fan of architecture is going to want this set. They capture the look of Italian architecture wonderfully in LEGO here. It feels like a real town in Italy. The way the buildings are so colorful and bright, vibrant, all the way to the roofs with those curved tiles on top. The confined nature, the close quarters of the windows and the streetway with all the people walking through, all the way up to the edge of the river. It's a beautiful looking set that leaves me wanting even more. I can't imagine how good it'd look to have multiple of these set up next to each other. And whenever a LEGO set has you thinking like that, you know they did a good job. Number 6, I have the T-Rex fossils. This set's just kind of crazy. It's LEGO, but it doesn't use the traditional brick all that much. The only real pieces that you can see it are the legs and the head. Otherwise, a lot of it relies on more Technic pieces, pins, those kind of things, the weirder parts to make the bones and the skeleton structure. It gives it quite the distinct look. I do enjoy that it's a part of the Jurassic Park theming. I think that'll sell this set just a little bit more. It definitely does to me. The minifigures are nice, and it's a cool little piece to have on the side. It reminds you of the big T-Rex skeleton they have in the big compound right in the middle. While I'm looking around this build, I do find some areas I feel like could be cleaned up. The joints around the legs connecting, the head maybe has a few areas that just look a little messy. But overall, I don't think it actually hinders the set too much because it is a fossil. It's not supposed to look perfect. That bone-like look is not something you're maybe used to, and it's going to be different, especially if you're considering this is supposed to be an ancient fossil. So from that point of view, I think it also kind of cuts them a break, or somewhat works in their favor for the parts they couldn't quite get perfect, leading to a build that's very competent and has pieces that works in its favor, creating a very nice build and a very different one that you might not expect to be LEGO at first glance. Number 5 on the list is Transformers Soundwave. It honestly felt weird putting him this high, as I don't know, the Transformer this high on the best set of the year list. It just felt kind of weird, but I don't really regret it at all. This build is incredible. And who doesn't love Transformers? It's a classic concept that everyone knows. Plus, these classic designed characters look so good. Their colors pop so well. Soundwave in particular is extra fun because he comes with a couple side builds that work as the tapes in his middle part of his tape deck, adding to his uniqueness and creating a build that has such a good experience. Plus, this is the first Decepticon adding to the Transformers line, so now you can really have them fight and work with them like action figures almost. At the price range these sets are at, I don't know how many kids will actually be able to get all of them and play with them like that, but it's now an option. And that's just awesome. And again, the transforming capabilities work so well with LEGO. A really cool set. I'll admit it, I was probably biased putting this set up so high. The 4th spot is taken by the Medieval Horse Knight Castle. I love castle sets, and this is a really good one at an affordable price. If you can't quite get the Lion's Knight Castle, this is a pretty good substitute. It's at a smaller price and has 3 builds included. I'll start with the main one though, the castle, which is honestly the reason it's on this list. The other 2 are good, they're nice, they're fun to have as different options, but really this castle's the big seller. It just looks good, it looks fun, it looks like a classic LEGO castle, which is very endearing. It also plays with perspective, giving it a bigger, grander look, especially for those towers in the back behind the main wall. And I don't know how much more I honestly need to say. It's a castle build, and what's not to love about LEGO Castle? It's just a classic theme that everyone understands and loves right away. I'll have to also mention the minifigures before I move on, which are quite a bit more noteworthy than you might think. There's actually a decent variety. There's not just duplicate of the same castle guard. There's quite a few different variations, from this archer to this more normal guard, a knight, the king, and then there's even this one dark knight to oppose them, and add a little more play to the set. It's a terrific classic build that's just a joy to have around. Alright, making the top 3, I have the Creeper. This pick might be pretty divisive, but in my opinion, this is a terrific set. I love buildable characters, especially when they're done this well. Of course, Minecraft sets always have the advantage of Minecraft is about blocks, so building in LEGO is so much easier because of that. It doesn't make it any less impressive though. This Creeper looks great. The tile detailing on it is phenomenal. I love it, and as a big fan of the game who's not necessarily into all the playsets, these are more sets that I want. The display ability and movement of the character is all present, making for a very good model. It's just exactly what you'd want from a buildable character. There's even a couple little side builds to have fun with and poke fun at the creation of the creeper, which originally was a pig that got messed up in the coding process. Then there's a little TNT included that you can even hide in the head. Like I've already mentioned, those just add to a set, something that make it more than just a display piece. Really well done by LEGO and a very nice build at a small price tag of $40, which is another big component of its place on this list. The runner-up on the list is the Mario Kart set. I absolutely love playing Nintendo games, Mario Kart being probably my favorite of all time. So as such, you can tell I'm probably a little biased towards the set, but nevertheless, I think it's a terrific build. When you're talking about accuracy, it doesn't miss a beat. The only piece I can somewhat complain about is Mario's face being a little flat, but he's coming from a video game, so honestly, I don't know, it kind of works. The proportions are somewhat there. It doesn't matter though, because what shortcomings he may have in his face really get drowned out by everything else, including his mustache, his nose, his hair, his ears, the hat. It all looks so good, you don't even really focus on those bad parts. And that was just the head I was talking about. I could continue complimenting this build for the rest of his body, the cart itself, which is absolutely terrific. Like I already said, that build is 1-to-1, looks perfect. Plus, Nintendo just feels like it's made for LEGO. Being that it's from a video game, very colorful, fun, they just feel like they go hand in hand. And this is another case of that, where LEGO's able to absolutely have fun, really cash out, and build this terrific set that just looks even more fun because it's based on a really fun character. One piece that I think will go underrated in this set though is that stand that it comes with. Being able to display this at multiple angles is a set seller. You might not think it at first or even realize it, but that stand does wonders. Being able to display them at multiple angles is a game changer. If you just were able to have it flat on a shelf like most LEGO sets, it'd probably be a little more dull. But this way you can angle them down, see into the cart more, get more expression, maybe make it look like he's turning or drifting on an edge. Just give it that much more life. And that's really what this set does well. It has a lot of life and character to it, making it very memorable. Alright, we have finally reached the top spot, and that's the Black Pearl. I refuse to call it Captain Jack Sparrow's pirate ship like LEGO wants us to. This is the Black Pearl, and it's terrific. Kinda like the castle theme I was talking about earlier, pirates are just awesome. They go so well with LEGO. It's such a classic idea and just works so well. And of course, the fact that this is based off a beloved movie series makes it that much better. This is the first pirate ship we've gotten in a good while, so it was interesting to see what this was going to become. A couple of the biggest improvements I noticed was the bottom. I liked how they included the bottom to be removable, so you could display it flat like they used to do, where they just give you kind of half the hole, so you could just set it down. But here you have the option to either do that and take it off, or you can set it up like this, where you have the full bottom hole on, and you can set it up in a pair of bricks to hold it up, like a more traditional ship model. The other big piece I'll mention is the netting on the sides. They used to have those as long, big pieces, but now they're more free-flowing and ropes. I could go on and on about other pieces of this build, but it would just get old. From the front of the mast, where you have that nice little open area by the head figure, all the way to the captain's quarters in the back, the shape of the ship was captured extremely well, and the details on the inside of the hull are great. If you really had to force my hand and I had to pick out some flaws, I would say I'm not a big fan of the choice to include brick-built cannons. I know they look better, but part of me still wants the old cannons where you can play with them a bit. It doesn't really make sense for this set. I get that this is an 18+ set, but I still kind of would have preferred that maybe. I'm not really holding it against the set because I understand why they didn't do it, and it's not the end of the world to me, but it would have been nice. The only other flaw with this set are the minifigures. While there are plenty of improvements, I feel like there's also plenty of steps backwards. Some don't feel like they're quite as good as the previous versions. While there are some areas they are better, I don't think they actually improved all that much. I will also note I'm disappointed by the amount of minifigures and who they chose to put in here. Who they have in here now is fine, but I definitely think there needed to be a few more. There's obviously a lot more iconic characters from the series, especially those considered to be crew of the Black Pearl, that were missed and weren't included here. Anyhow, despite all this, I still love it. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a pirate ship in Lego, the Black Pearl nonetheless. It's a terrific build. It's a great set that's really fun, really good for display as well, and was an easy pick for the best set of the year. But maybe that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite set of the year was. What was your top 10? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.